Peace be still, everyone. This is Tosha, and you're listening to the Supernova Tosha Show podcast, the show that discusses social issues and how it affects our community. Now, today, I want to talk to you about that video that's been circulating with the kiss that everyone's talking about. Is it playful or is it perversion? So religious leader Dalai Lama has people worldwide cringing at the latest video circling with him and his interaction with a young boy. I want you to go ahead and view this video. Just don't say anything, just take a look.
And suck my tongue.
Okay, so it really is not a laughing matter. I was just taken aback by the crowd that was just laughing, thought it was funny. I don't know. The 87-year-old Dalai Lama lives in exile in a temple in India. And it was February of 2023. He invited some students over to his temple. And then there was this young boy. I don't know. He looks like he's about 7 or 8 or something like that. But this young boy asked, before he approached him, asked if he could give him a hug. And I can just imagine how the child felt, just, being a devout Buddhist and seeing a world-renowned leader, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, by the way, in person. And you're just feet away from him and thinking, wow, this is my opportunity. I just want a hug. And I can just imagine how the atmosphere there was. He was, I didn't watch the video in the entirety. I don't know if there's an entire video of what his message was about, but if you know what the Dalai Lama or what Buddhism is about, it's about peace and it's about love. And so I can just imagine, after giving a powerful speech on that, how everyone is there, that's all gathered together, feeling that. And I can imagine the zone that they were in and imagine the synergy between everyone. So this little guy, is feeling it, and he asks for a hug, and the Dalai Lama obliges him with a gesture to his cheek. So the little boy approaches the Dalai Lama, and as he approaches the Dalai Lama and he's standing there, the Dalai Lama motions to his cheek. So he's there asking for a kiss on the cheek, and then motions to his lips. And then he says, "Suck my tongue." And as the both of them are getting closer, it's the hand gesture for me, where he's holding the boy by his chin and holds him by the chin, and he's like pulling his face. And so I went okay. So I went online and I saw that People, I guess it's People magazine, they must have like an online YouTube show or something to that effect, says that the Dalai Lama has apologized and for asking the young boy to suck his tongue at the event in February. And the video shows them embracing, and that particular video shows them embracing. So the little boy asked for a hug, and they did embrace. And while they're embracing, he does this motion where he tickles the little boy under his arm. And the crowd is then again laughing like they did with the whole suck my tongue bit. And, I do get that religious leaders sin as much as non religious leaders do, or anyone that's non religious. We all sin. And for me, this is perverse. And I feel as though, folks are trying to normalize this perversion, especially when it comes to children. Um, I found it grotesque, and it's a disturbing display for me. Now, I really don't think that this was a playful engagement, and especially it being with a child. And I, from what I was reading, it says a Buddhist tradition that restricts the priests and monks to marry. Um, so if you're a Buddhist, a monk or a Buddhist priest, right? So I was reading that they're restricted from marrying. And for me, when you restrict a man from marrying, or anyone from marrying, I don't know how normal they're supposed to act. How because you're deviating from that physical intimacy that we are created for. See, when you're missing that physical intimacy, that there's a love hormone, and they call it the love hormone, but it's oxytocin. And in men, what it does, when it's released, it's a stress reliever. So it relieves stress, and then it also lowers the blood pressure, right? So there are health benefits to this. And the way how our bodies are made, and how our body parts, are designed like puzzle pieces that fit together. We fit together for a purpose, and we are created with natural feelings, and we are made with these natural urges that it wasn't by accident. You know what I mean? It was created by design. And that's why when you see, for the ladies, if you see a handsome guy, and not even just a handsome guy, that a guy that you're with, or your significant other, and you're excited because the joys and pleasure that that person brings you. Same thing with men. You get excited when you see your significant other dressed nicely and put together, and there's just certain hormones that are released. So I don't know, these traditions about not marrying, and I feel like it kind of goes against what we were created to do. I was out not too long ago with friends of mine, husband and wife, and I just remember she had on a cute little skirt and top. I mean, she looked really pretty, well put together. She had her heels on, and I just was such a fan of his in that moment, because he was just complimenting her, telling her how beautiful she looked. And he's like, wow, I certainly hope we can get another wear out of this outfit. And he was just admiring her, and just, standing there giving her compliments. And I was like, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. So I don't know. And I'm definitely not trying to put anybody's religion down, or anyone's traditions, or their practices or customs, but I just feel like this is what happens when you take away what's supposed to help us with these urges, and what we're designed to do for each other, the pleasure that we bring for each other. We were designed and created for this. So I want to say that according to the BBC in Tibet, They are saying that sticking your tongue out is served as a greeting. And okay, so I accept traditions. If sticking your tongue out is a sign of respect or if it's a greeting, I can go ahead and respect that. Not a problem. I know I'm not doing it. And if I have to go somewhere where I'm asked to stick my tongue out in order to show respect, I don't want to go. I just simply choose not to go. However, if you listen to the video, if you see the video at all, he doesn't say stick your tongue out. He instructed this young boy to suck his tongue. And so I don't see where, you know, for me, there isn't a tradition or a culture or a practice or anything at all that excuses the suck my tongue. His supporters are coming out and they are determined to, they're determined to really support him. They're coming out saying, I want to read something to you that someone wrote. It says, a Tibetan activist tweeted on Monday, expressions of emotions and manners today has been melted together and become vividly westernized, bringing in a narrative of other cultures, customs, and social influences on gender and sexuality to interpret Tibetan way of expressions is heinous. Let's see. He says, however, they want to have it written politically correct. Yeah. So anyway, I really, the only reason why I wrote that down is because I honestly I thought that they were going to give some sort of an explanation for the suck your tongue thing. That didn't work for me. I don't know. It's just, and there are others too that are just like in support of him and saying that, what he did was just playfulness. I mean, I don't know. It's okay. So I have nothing against admiration of, religious leaders. And there are a few religious leaders that I'm fond of. I listen to them. I listen to their broadcasts and their podcasts. And, that's how I start my mornings off is by listening to some of these religious leaders. Because I look at them as they're motivational. They're like, they write like the best motivational speeches because it comes, and they're Bible based. They're Bible based. So I do believe there's a lot of things in the Bible that show us how to live our lives and give us like a roadmap of what to do and when things go wrong, instructions of what to do when things go wrong. So when they are preaching, Bible based preaching, and referring back to the Bible on how to deal with certain situations and how other people in the Bible have dealt with situations that we go through. Because nothing is new. Absolutely nothing is new. But, there are a few that I listen to because I like their style and how they deliver the message. And never will I, put them on a pedestal and think that because, they are from a higher authority that they can do no wrong. And as I said before, they sin just like everyone else. And because they were born into sin, we all were born into sin. But, we have to take into consideration just because they are religious leaders and they win, Nobel Peace Prizes or what have you, doesn't mean that they're not fallible. There is a story about, example, there's a story of a pastor in a Jacksonville, Florida church. And he's in prison right now. He's in prison for molesting a young girl. And he also confessed to fathering a child with a woman that he raped during a 2004 counseling session. So this woman sought counseling with her pastor, and took advantage of her, and fathered a child, and he confessed to that. So there's a very, very famous pastor. I'm not going to say his name, but from my description, you probably can guess who he is. Very, very famous pastor. He seems as though that he may have been allegedly struggling with his sexuality. He was very vocal and anti-gay, very vocal about being anti-gay. However, he was, he was out there in the Atlanta area, and he preached, about prosperity. So he was one of those prosperity preachers and lived a very lavish life. And he's passed away. And there are some young men who have come forth to say that, they had relationships with him, and he used his influence, and he coerced them into relationships with these young men, allegedly, because he's no longer here with us, so he can't defend himself. So I'm not too sure how old this little boy is in the video. Again, he looks to be about 7 or 8. His mannerisms seem to be about 8 or 9. He might be a small child, I don't know, but he seemed very mature, and he seemed like you can tell he comprehends and he understands. And he was there for a Buddhist, like he wasn't at Comic-Con, okay? So he understands boundaries, and at that age, so much inappropriate behaviors and sexual abuse never go reported because kids never knew. They say they didn't know what it was. They didn't know it was wrong. They can tell you that it felt wrong. They were told not to say anything, and that's another thing when an adult swears you to secrecy. But they were told not to say anything, and it felt wrong, but they didn't know definitively what is this, and that this is definitely something that's wrong, and I need to tell someone. And I think that at the age of about between 3 and 4 years old, we should be teaching our children, right, to learn that their body is a temple, and we should be teaching them that it's sacred, and that they are the ones that are in charge of their bodies. And that means speaking with them direct and knowing the correct names of their body parts. Just as a little boy asked the Dalai Lama, he was appropriate. He wasn't inappropriate. Like, he appropriately asked, can I hug you? And I feel that's how adults need to approach children. They should ask, they should get permission from these children before they embrace them or get, close to them, and have boundaries, have respect for their boundaries, and ask. And we as adults, whether it's your child, somebody else's child, your niece, your nephew, the neighbor's kid, it takes a village, and each one teaches one. And that's one thing that's I've always said with children, they should know that they're in charge, and they have a right to say no. They have a right to decline someone being, close and pressed up to them. It's their bodies, and this is one thing that I wish this little boy had declined. Maybe just a hug, but when he was touching his chin, maybe, back away. I don't know. But the Dalai Lama should have asked for permission for a kiss on the cheek. And what he did was basically point to his cheek. And he's saying, you're the child. I want a kiss, so you do as I say. That's how that equates to me. But there are some people who are, giving backlash, and they're asking for criminal charges to be filed. This is some of the things that I've read online. He should be in jail. This is abuse. For this incident, I don't know. I was asked, do you think he's a molester? Should he be in jail? For this particular incident, I don't see charges being filed, but I don't know if this might give someone the courage to come forth if there's anything that had happened in the past, and someone didn't want to report it. I think, seeing the public outcry and seeing that, they would be supported and they don't have to be afraid. I'm not accusing him of anything. I don't know the man, never met the man. But a lot of people who have been hurt by religious leaders, they just keep it moving and they suffer with that, and they don't really tell anyone, and it affects them later on in life. So for me, I don't know, only if there's others, if other people come out and say something, and then there's a in-depth investigation, because I don't like how the public likes to, put people on trial, and they're guilty before they're found innocent. I'm not on that bandwagon. I definitely have to, there definitely has to be proof. There has to be witnesses. There has to be, the whole nine. So I do believe in people getting a fair trial. So I don't know. I think that some of the comments that I'm reading, people are saying, they seem to think that it's something that he does in the dark. Because I remember reading one statement that said, if he does this in front of a crowd, can you imagine what he does behind closed doors? Again, I don't know. They're saying whatever is done in the dark soon will come to light, and that he's gotten away with things and it's been covered up, and soon the truth will come out. I'm just hoping that this is just one incident and one incident only. I am hoping that this is just a case of him using very poor judgment. Yeah, that's all I'm hoping, that it was just one incident. This is the only incident. He just used poor judgment, wasn't thinking, whatever. He was just caught up in a moment of euphoria because of, the synergy, the connection with the people. That's what I'm hoping, because children being hurt by adults or religious leader, it doesn't matter if you're a religious leader or not, or just children being hurt. We have way too many tragic stories of this, kids being violated, especially with prominent leaders. And we just need to keep both of our eyes on our kids, on our children, educate them, caution them, and just make your home a safe place, a safe haven to where they can feel comfortable to discuss their feelings with you, to discuss if they're uneasy or uncomfortable around someone, whether it's a family member, whether it's a leader, a teacher, or someone in a leadership capacity, or just someone in their family. So that's basically what you should create for these children, so that yeah, that's basically what I have to say about that. Let's see. And I found this comment online. I really wanted to read this one. Yeah, so this person writes, I am Tibetan myself. In my culture, it is a specific common practice for elders to tease young children by joking, suck my tongue, as a way to deter cheeky children from pestering elders. Um, I'm trying to see how that would make sense. The word cheeky, I've only heard my grandma say that. My grandma's a very proper English lady. And um, instead of saying, you're out of order child or an unruly child, she'd say, oh, that's a cheeky child. So I guess in the Tibetan Chinese world, they use this. But it says, this is in my culture, it is a specific common practice for elders to tease young children by joking, suck my tongue, as a way to deter cheeky children from pestering elders. And they went on to write the word suck in the Tibetan language is, I don't know how you pronounce this, but they spelled it JHIP. So the word suck in Tibetan language is JHIP. Well, they say Google's your friend. Google was not my friend, because when I Googled it, it says JHIP stands for Joint Hip Improvement Plan. So if you got hip problems, then that's that's all it says to me. It's not a word. It's not a word that is sexualized the way that it is in Western world. The major foreign media are portraying clips without the full content, while judging other cultures just because it differs from their own. Even though this video appears 2 months ago after the occurrence, there is no attempt to get a comment from the parents of the child. By the way, the parents have released an official statement that they didn't feel like it was a problematic issue. That's what the person further wrote. And yeah, I don't know. I didn't look it to see if the parents released any videos and, saying that it wasn't a problematic issue. Maybe it's not problematic to them. I can't dictate to someone how to parent, how to raise their child. All I can say is, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. Anyway, so what did he say? So he's like, the reason why the Tibetan exile diaspora is thriving is because the world wanted to cash in on the Dalai Lama for decades, and now you turn him in for clickbait. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. It just sounds like a bunch of horse pucky. This person just needs a few couch sessions on, fix my life or whatever. It just seems like he's lashing out for some reason, because he totally strayed off the topic and went from Highway 60 to Highway I-95. So it was a disappointing comment. I thought maybe, that could have shed some light on the suck my tongue thing. And if this is something that elders say to cheeky children, they need to find something else to say, because it's kind of like grooming behavior for me. And yeah, it's a no. It's a no. So yeah. Yeah. Well, so a few days ago, it comes out in the news that, saying that the Dalai Lama has apologized for the incident. And I have yet to see a video of him apologizing. So I just want to say that, I'm not going to look too much further into this. Once I talk about it here, that's it. It's a done deal for me. Because if the parents don't find it disturbing, if they don't find it a problematic issue, then I don't know. In Jamaica, they say, if sick man don't care, why should a doctor care, right? So, well, I have yet to see a video of him apologizing. What I am seeing is his office has released a statement, and the office says, let's see. And to me, it seems as though he hired a PR team. This is not even an apology from him. It seems like he hired some PR firm to write something and to send it out, because I don't know if he's apologized. I haven't seen an apology, but it says here, His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way. He regrets the incident. So for me, there's nothing on here that apologizes. There's nothing here that says I'm sorry. What I'm reading is just a statement that basically states he can do what he wants to do because he's the Dalai Lama, and we're going to go ahead and justify and back him up. But you be the judge if that's an apology or if that's, justification of how he behaved. So I know that, when a child suffers from abuse, there's nothing that you can do to undo the damage. You can't apologize the damage away. The best thing to do is to protect our children. Just protect our children. Look out for our kids, because once the damage is done, it's done. Like dear departed Whitney Houston, love her music. She says, "I believe the children are the future." And damaged leader, teach them well and let them lead the way. But if you have damaged leaders, you'll create a damaged society. So, just take care of each other, take care of our kids. Remember, it takes a village. And I just want to thank you very much for watching, for listening. And until next time, may peace be still.